Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to today's Saturday surprise workout. Today we are going to be doing some mobility and some stretching. We're going to focus on our knees, our hips, and our shoulders. Now we're going to get a little bit of other stuff in there too, but we're primarily going to focus on the three joints, the three areas that most people tend to have problems. So we're going to focus on knees, hips, and shoulders today. And I will apologize. I have a little bit of a runny nose today. I think it's basically just from today. Oh. So apparently I'm glitchy this morning. Sorry, so apparently I'm having an issue this morning. I'm not sure what the deal is, so hopefully we will be able to stay on today. So we'll see what happens. But we need a sturdy chair, we need a resistance band, and hopefully you have a wall or a door that is open that you can use for a couple of the exercises. We're going to try to take everything back, regress a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and start. And we just want to warm up our bodies. So this isn't anything crazy or getting into any crazy mobility, but we're just going to start with the right foot. We're just going to rock our heel toe. So lift the toes, lift the heels. Before you do mobility, before you do stretching, you want your body to be warmed up. So I'd like to think of it as a rubber band. Good, let's switch sides. So it's just like a rubber band. A warm rubber band is going to stretch a lot more than a cold rubber band or even a frozen rubber band. So your muscles are kind of the same way. They're a little bit like rubber bands, and we want to make sure that they are warmed up before we start trying to stretch them out a little bit. Good. So we're just going to stand nice and tall. We're just going to lift, a little bit of knee bend, a little bit of hips. We're also waking up our core just a little. But we're just trying to warm up the body, get the blood flowing. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Make sure you're not near your chair. We're just going to think about bending our knees, bringing our heels back to our hips. So same thing. And as we're doing this warm up, I want you to take a little bit of an assessment of your joints. What I want you to do is I want you to notice, how do your joints feel? Does your right knee feel tight, but your left knee feels okay? Do both of your hips feel tight? Do you notice a little twinge in your back on one side or the other? How do your shoulders feel? Can you get one arm overhead and the other arm not so much? All right, let's bring it in. Feet hip width apart. Deep breath in, and we're just going to reach down, and then we're going to come back up. So we're just waking up the hamstrings and the glutes a little bit. So we just push our hips back and stand up nice and tall. And we don't want to go until we feel a super deep stretch. We're just trying to work on that hinge, just trying to wake up the body. So this is kind of a slow and steady type of workout today. We're not going to speed through things. Good, couple more. And last one. We're going to bring it up into the center, and we're just going to do hip circles. So I think about flexing my foot, and I'm trying to draw a circle on the floor with my heel. Good, let's go the other direction. And let's switch, going to the other side. And when we're doing single leg stuff and things like this, you are more than welcome to hold on to a chair or something for a little bit of support. Good, let's go the other direction. And we're going to bring it in. Feet are about a little bit wider than hip width apart. Our hips are going to stay pointing forwards, and we're just going to start to reach across the body. So we're waking up the core a little. And it's okay if your reach is a little bit, not quite corner to corner, but either side of your device. And then we reach across. Good, 2 more right here. All right, let's bring it in the center. We're going to roll the shoulders up, back, and down into our back pocket. Good, and I don't do this very often, but now we're gonna do a little bit of a forward roll. So when we do our forward roll, we don't wanna round. We just wanna think about moving the shoulder in the socket. Good, we're gonna take some deep breaths in. So we're gonna breathe it in, reach it up. Exhale, we're gonna reach back. So up and back. And this is where I want you to start to notice, does one arm go higher than the other? Does one arm go farther back than the other? Both arms, do you struggle to get them past here? Okay, so we're just kind of trying to find that range of motion, wake up the shoulders. Good, couple more right here. I notice a little popping in my left shoulder today. Good, and we're gonna take the arms out and we're just gonna open and then give ourselves a hug. So just nice and loose, kind of loosey-goosey. Imagine if you were somewhere warm and you were out in the ocean and you're just moving your arms in the water. Good, and here's 2 and 1, and we're gonna bring it in the center. We're just gonna circle our wrists, nice and easy. And then we're gonna go the other direction. And we're just going to do loose fist and then spread your fingers wide. And for this one, we're gonna go a little bit quicker. It's less about stretching, more about getting the blood flowing in your body and then trying to get some of that fluid moved out of your joints. So if you're someone that deals with arthritis and you're like, man, I'm super sore in the mornings, that's because your body, the fluid in your body, good, bring it in, ear to shoulder, the fluid in your body is able to disperse itself when you sleep at night because we're not moving. The movement of our body pushes some extra fluid out of our joints. And at night when we sleep, all that fluid is able to go back into your joints and kind of get evenly dispersed, which means that when you wake up in the morning, you have more fluid in your joints than you do later in the day, which means that they're stiffer, they're harder to move, they're more uncomfortable. Good, head up, look to the right, look to the left. And that's why they say for arthritis and really for anything, any kind of stiffness, motion is lotion. I love that saying. It sounds a little weird, but movement is so important for your body. We all need to move every day, at least a little bit, as much as we can. All right, bring it in. We're just gonna take a couple nice deep breaths. Breathe it in and take it out. One more time, breathe in and out. All right, grab a really quick drink if you need it. And we're gonna start off in our chair. You can do these drills standing. You don't have to have the chair, but the chair is going to make things a little easier because you're not relying on your feet to hold your body weight up, and we are going to start working on our feet. So we're gonna sit nice and tall. This one is easier to do if you're not wearing shoes. But all I want you to do is I want you to lift your toes and I want you to spread them out as far as we can. And really just think about kind of spreading them out. Get your pinky toe and your thumb as far apart from each other as you can. And then we're just gonna set them down to start. So we're gonna take them up, spread them out. And then we're gonna set them down. Now this time we're gonna take them out, we're gonna spread them out as far as we can. And then when we set them down, I want you to press your toes in and press them into the ground, but I don't want you to curl them under. I want you to think about pressing. It's a little bit different. We naturally want to start to curl, but I want you to just press. Almost like you're trying to wrinkle the floor underneath your feet. Good, let's spread them, lift them and spread. And then we're going to press them down into the floor. Good, now we're gonna lift our toes, spread them, and I want you to try to put them down one at a time, pinky toe to big toe. Good, we're gonna lift, we're gonna spread. Set them down one at a time, pinky toe to big toe. And they don't always go down one at a time, but you get the general idea. Good, lift, spread, set them down one at a time. Good. Now what I want you to do is I want you to press your toes into the ground, and can you lift just your other 8 toes? So big toes go into the ground, other 8 lift. Good, now set the 8 toes down. Can you lift just your big toes? So I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna get ready for the next set anyway. So I want you to lift big toes down, just the other 8 are gonna go down to, or big toes down, other 8 lift. Good, now switch. Other 8 toes down, big toe lifts. Good, one more time. So big toes down, lift the other 8 toes. And then 8 toes down, big toes are up. Good. All right, just kind of shake those out, and we're going to come up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start working on our knee. Now you can do this standing, or you can do this kneeling, half kneeling position, but we're going to take our foot up. And we're going to keep that heel on the ground, and this is nice because now you have a chair to hold on to if you need to. And all we're going to do is we're going to push that knee forwards, and I want you to see how close you can get your bum to your heel. And all we're going to do is we're going to hang out here. So we're not going to do anything crazy. I just want you to kind of go forward and feel what your body is able to do. And we're going to try to keep our heel on the chair, but if you need to lift your heel a little, you can. But if you feel like your ankle is what's preventing you from pushing into your knee, then you can lift your heel. But I want you to just push it forward, and we're just going to hang out. We're just going to sit. You should not be going so far that you feel like your knee is going to explode. We don't want that. So some of you might be back here, and that's perfectly all right. But I just want you to press it forward, and we're trying to bend our knee as much as our knee will be okay with. We're just going to hold. Good. We're going to take it back, and now we're going to switch. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So heels on the ground, you can hold onto the back of that chair, and we're just going to push our knee forward. And this is another one. I want you to notice the difference between one side and the other. So when we do things like squats, a lot of people are pretty strong in the top part of the range. A lot of people don't even go halfway down to a 90 degree. They're stronger in the top range, and part of that is because they feel like their knee is not going to let them go any deeper. So we want to just try to work on that knee, work on opening up the front of the knee, getting that flexibility back, getting that movement back. And you just start where you are. So on this one, I can feel my calf a lot more because I know this is my calf, this is my side that's a little goofy. Good. Now we're going to switch, and we're going to go back. And this time we're going to focus on the movement of the knee and really working on the muscles around the knee. So what we're going to do is we're going to press forwards. And then I really want you to think about pushing from your knee. Push your knee back. Can you start to get your knee straighter? And it's okay if it doesn't go perfectly straight. Now we're going to let that knee go forwards. And then we're going to push it back. And I want you to think about the knee is doing the movement. So some of this is just trying to get your brain and your body to talk to each other. Press that knee back. And you can see I don't get my knees straight. I'm kind of tight in my hamstrings. But we're trying to think about those muscles that surround that knee. Control that knee. Control where your knee goes. Try not to let it do a lot of in and out wobble. Good. One more time. Press it forward. And remember, you can have your leg lower. It's all about what you're able to do today. Good. Bring it in. We're going to switch over to the other side. So same thing. So hold on to that chair if you need to. We're going to press that knee forward. And then we're going to press that knee. So use those muscles on your knee, around your knee, surrounding it. Straighten your quad. So we're going to take it forward. And then we're going to press it back. And really try to listen to your body. I'm struggling on this side. You'd think it's my right, this is my right leg. You'd think I'd be better at this one. But this is the one that likes to rotate out. This is the one that I've sprained my ankle a couple of times. It doesn't always seem like once you do it once, it wants to keep doing it. So this is the one where my ankle is tight, like I can't get my toe pointed the same. Good. We're going to bring it in. We're going to shake it out. Now this next one isn't always going to feel the best for everybody, but you're going to have your leg on the chair and your ankle and your foot are going to be hanging off of the chair. So we're going to have them so that it's hanging off of the chair, nice and relaxed. And all we're going to do is we're going to do a little kneeling, and we're going to try to take our hip down to our heel. Now, a lot of you are going to think, oh my gosh, you're insane. You might have to be right here. You can have your hand resting on the chair to help. But again, we just want to try to get our heel back to our backside. And we're just going to rest. If you're choosing to do this on the floor, you can put something between your heel and your hips. So you can put a couple of yoga blocks back there. You can stack up a couple of pillows back there so that you can relax into this while still working on a nice, good hip to heel type position. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it up, and we're going to switch. So I'm sorry, I'm going to turn. And then you get to see my wonderful side. Same thing, where we're just going to hinge our hips back, and we're going to try to sit our hips to our heels. Now I can do this. I have decent mobility this way in my legs, but a lot of people, you might be right here, and that's all right. And again, put something behind your legs and just sit in a way that you can comfortably without feeling like you're having to hold yourself up too much. And we just want to sit into it. As you start to progress through this, the more often you do this particular exercise, you can think about having your foot on the chair as well. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it up. We're going to come in and we're going to shake it out a little bit. We're going to face our chair, and we're just going to do our hip hinges. So shoulders down and back, bellies in, and we're just going to think about hinging back until we feel a little stretch, and then we squeeze our glutes, push ourselves up forwards. So we're just going to hinge and bring it up. I get my hands to about my knees, so take it down and bring it up. So we're going to start with basic hinges, and then we're going to move on to a single leg hinge hold, and we're just going to work on a little bit of strength around that knee and around that hip joint. Good. Let's go ahead and take the right foot forward, or pick a foot. We're going to lift the other leg, and we're just going to hinge, and all we're going to do is hold. So if you've got your chair, you can go ahead and have, your hands close to the chair, but we want to try not to hold on and have our hands down. So we're just going to lift, and we're just going to do a nice good hold. I can feel my ankle trying to hold me up, hold me nice and steady, a little bit of fatigue. Good, bring it in, switching sides. So same thing, we're just gonna hinge it back, your other leg lifts. So we're just gonna try to do a nice good hold. And again, just a tall posture, you don't have to reach down to the floor, you don't have to touch the floor, you can be a little bit more upright, but we're sitting into that hip. You can have your hand resting lightly on that back of the chair, but we just want to go until we feel maybe a little bit of fatigue, not a lot, just a little. Good, bring it up, shake it out. Let's go ahead and move the chair out of the way. Grab a quick drink if you need it, but we're going to move on to our hip series. We're going to start with a neutral stance, narrow stance. And we're just going to do hip circles. So we're going to do a few circles one way. And as we do this, I want you to notice how your hips feel. Good. And we're going to go the other direction. So just a nice, good hip circle. We are going to go down to the floor here in just a little bit. Good. So now we're going to bring it up in the center, and I want you to keep your hips steady, and I want you to do upper body circles. Upper body circles, trying not to let the hips circle with you. Good, let's go the other direction. So just little upper body circles. Good, bring it in. Now we're gonna go for a wider stance. And we're gonna start with those hip circles. So we're gonna start nice, good hip circles. And ooh, this hip is talking to me just a little bit. I'm kind of surprised on that one, to be honest. Good, let's go the other direction. So this is a good thing to do. So it's like, hey, I did not expect this side to be the side that's gonna do different things. It's gonna kind of mess with me. Good, back in the center, and again, just little upper body circles, lower body is nice and steady. Good, we're gonna go the other direction. And these don't have to be huge. Good. All right, we're going to take it down onto the floor. You can do this seated if you need to. We're going to do hip circles lying on the floor. And then we're gonna do some 90-90 and some kneeling. So we're gonna be on our backs, and we're gonna take our legs out straight. So we're just gonna start with a nice straight leg. Low back into the floor. We're gonna bring our right leg up, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use our hand, and we're gonna start to circle our hip around. And if you're like me, short arms, you might kind of struggle to keep your hand on your leg. We're just gonna start with those nice good hip circles. So find that good range of motion. Good, and now we're gonna go the other direction. So we wanna keep our opposite hip down on the ground, nice and stable core. Good, let's bring it in, switching over to the other side. So we're gonna start, take it out, circle it back in. So if you've got longer arms, this one tends to work out a little bit better for you. And I can tell I've got a little clicking. That doesn't surprise me on this side, to be honest. Good, we're gonna go the other direction. So you wanna find that range of motion that is pain-free. Good, let's go ahead and bring it in. We're gonna switch, and we're gonna grab behind the thigh if we can, knees over our hip. We're going to think about straighten and bend the knee. So we're working on those hamstrings, and this is gonna help our knee, but this is also definitely going to help our hips. So just a gentle bend and straighten. Your knee does not have to get perfectly straight. Good, let's take it up and hold it. Just a nice good stretch. Good, in 3, 2, 1. Bring it in, set that one down, bring it up to the other side. Grab behind the thigh, and again, we're just gonna straighten and bend. And this is one I want you to notice the difference between one side and the other. Take it up and we're going to hold it. And whenever we do mobility, whenever we do stretching, we don't want to go until we feel that sharp pain. We want to feel gentle tugging, but definitely not pain. Pain is your body's way of saying, hey, a little too far, and it's going to automatically tighten up to try to protect itself. Good, let's go ahead and bring it in. Both knees are bent. We're going to bring it over to the side. And we're going to start out with our 90-90. So we're going to take our legs a little bit wide. Hands are going to be by our hips, and we're going to take both knees to one side and then both knees over to the other. So you can do this one sitting in a chair. You're going to take your legs wide. It's a little trickier, but you're going to rotate and rotate. So it is possible to do this one sitting. So just a nice good 90-90. You might have to readjust yourself periodically. Good, couple more. Here's 2 and 1. Let's go ahead and bring it in for half kneeling. So if you need to, place something underneath your knee. I always do. So we're going to do a half kneeling stance, something underneath your knee. And what we want to do is we want to take a nice big step forwards. We're going to do a hip flexor stretch and then a hamstring stretch. So we want to go forward as far as we can and let this knee go behind to get a nice good stretch in our hip flexors. And then we're going to come back and we're going to try to straighten that front leg. So I'm going to start with toe pointing down. So we're going to take it forwards, and then I'm going to take it back. And this is another one to listen to your body. So don't compare yourself to me or compare yourself to the person you're doing a workout with. We're just going to start where we're at, get a good stretch, and then take it back. Now this next couple, when I go back, I am going to try lifting my toes so that I can feel a little bit more of a stretch in my calf. Now I will also feel this in my hamstrings, so I got to change things a little bit. Take it forward and bring it up. Good. Now we're going to switch and go over to the other side. Same thing. So switch it over to the other knee. I take a bigger step. Try to keep my core tight and my belly in. Good. And I'm going to take it forward. Nice, good stretch. We want to try not to arch our low back too much when we do this one. So good stretch. And then we're going to take it back. I keep my toe pointed. And I'm going to work on stretching my hamstring. So taking it forwards and take it back. If you need to do this one standing, you can kind of do the same thing. Heel is up, press it forwards, and then take it back, straighten your knee. Good, take it forward, good stretch, and then take it back. Good, after you've done about 4, we're going to lift up those toes. Get a little bit more of a stretch. So good, hip flexors. Take it back. All right, one more time. Hip flexor. And take it back. Good. Now we're going to switch. And instead of having the leg behind us, we're going to take it out to the side for an adductor rock back. So we're in a good kneeling stance. We find a nice, happy, medium position with our spine, toe pointing forward, flat on the floor if you can, in line with your opposite knee. We're just going to rock back hip to heel and then come back to our neutral position. So rock it back, rock it forwards. And I'm not sure if it's how I slept or if it was something else that I did, but I'm definitely feeling this leg a little bit more today than I normally do. So it's a good thing to be aware of that with your body and start with a small movement and start gentle. Good. Now we're going to keep that leg out there. We're going to rotate so that your hip, knee, and toe are pointing kind of towards the ceiling best you can. Try to keep the knee as straight as you can. And same thing, we're going to do our rock back and our rock forwards. So a little external rotation of the hip here. So a lot of times when we start to go forward and back with the toe up, we start to naturally want to take that toe forwards. We want to keep it right here. So back, forward, and back, and forward. Good. Bring it in. You can kind of shake it out a little bit. And we're going to switch over. Same thing on the other side. Good, hands and knees position. Toe pointing forward. Try to get the whole foot flat on the floor best you can. Toe is in line with your opposite leg, and we're going to rock it back and rock it forwards. So we're stretching out our adductors. Those are the muscles that pull our hip in and hold it close to our body. Good. A couple more. Now we're going to rotate, kind of pivot on that heel, hip, knee, and toe are pointing forwards. We're going to rock it back and rock it to the front. So you might feel this a little bit more in the hamstring. This side I am feeling it a little bit more where my thigh meets my pelvis. Thigh meets my torso. Good. I'm going to do a couple more, and I can tell that this is the side that likes to rotate out. All right, let's go ahead and bring it in. A little bit of a shakeout, kind of give you a little bit of a wiggle. We're going to go back to our 90-90. So this is our last hip exercise where we're going to do a 90-90, but this time we're going to do a hold. So we take the legs out, we're going to go over to the side, and you want to try to get as close to a 90-90 as you can get. For a lot of you, that may mean bending the back leg and having this foot in line with your thigh. But we're going to go as close to 90-90 as we can get. We're going to turn over that front leg, and we're going to just do a nice, good forward fold. We want to focus on sitting into our glutes. And it's okay if you're only a little bit farther forward and you feel a stretch in that glute, your outer thigh. You want to try to do a nice good full tummy, goes down to the thigh. And deep breath. So we just did some adductor rock backs, a little bit of mobility there. Now we are doing some abductor stretching. Good, let's bring it up, take it up and over to the other side. And then same thing, find a position close to 90-90, turn over the leg that's in front, and we're going to do a nice good forward fold. And depending on how tight you are, how loose you are, you may just be able to have your hands here. Some of you may be flexible enough to go down onto your forearm. We want to try not to round our spine if we can, because then we start to turn it into a back stretch, and I really want to focus on stretching the thigh and the glute. So a neutral spine is going to help with that. All right, let's go ahead and bring it up. We're going to come up to a standing position, so give yourself a moment. Come up to standing, grab a quick drink of water if you need it, and we're going to go through our shoulder series. So we're going to bring it in. We're just going to do a little bit of warming up. So we're just going to kind of swing. So we did this for part of the warm up, but we've been focusing on knees and hips. So we just want to get those shoulders a little bit loose again. Good. And we're going to do just our nice good shoulder circles, just getting them moving. And then again, other direction. Good. And we're just going to do some nice good circles going backwards. Start small, and then if you can, we're going to go bigger. Good, and then we're going to go forwards. Nice good circles, and then if you can, you're going to make them bigger, but you choose how big is big. Good, bring it in, and we're just going to kind of open and close. Open and close. The last one that we're going to do for a little bit of a warm-up is called a teacup internal rotation. So you're going to hold your hand, and your goal is to try to hold the teacup and not spill, but we're going to take it, we're going to bring it in, and then we're going to circle it out and around and up over our head and then back around. So teacup, turn it in, and then we're going to kind of go out to the side, and then we lift and we bring it up and around and then back in the center. I'm going to struggle with this one a little bit, and it's okay if your teacup spills a little. So bring it in, circle it up and around. Good, we're going to do one more. So teacup up and around and in. Good, same thing on the other side. Hold your teacup, turn it in. We're kind of going out. We're going to bring it up and around, halo around the head. So teacup, bring it in, up and around. So this one takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of thinking, and it's okay if your teacup is a little bit small and if your movement is kind of tiny. This is not one of my best exercises. All right, we're going to shake it out. Option one is you're going to take your arm out and you're going to stretch your fingers. Option two, this is the one if you have a wall, we want to take our hand to the wall, palm facing up. Now, if you can't get the heel of your hand to the wall, then you walk the heel of your hand away from the wall. Our goal is to try to get our arm fairly parallel to the floor, fingers touching if you can, and maybe it's just your fingers touching, but if you can start to walk through and press that hand to the wall, go for it, and then we're going to turn away from the wall a little bit. A lot of people are going to feel a little bit of stretching in your biceps, a little zinging. If you feel a little zinging, then you take your heel of your hand away from the wall a little. Listen to your body. This isn't one that you force through. I'm struggling. I can't get my heel to the wall, heel of my hand to the wall. Just a little stretch. Good. And we're going to switch, going over to the other side. So I'm going to come over to here for this one. Again, we want to try fingers touch the wall. Get your arm as parallel to the wall as you can, as parallel to the floor as you can. Palm is rotated from the shoulder facing up. And we're going to try to get that heel of your hand kind of towards the wall, and then we're going to turn a little away I'm being very careful with this one. This is my shoulder that's giving me issues right now. And then we just do a little turn. Nice, good stretch. Good. Release. Go ahead and bring it into the center. We're going to go ahead and grab our band. Now this is one, yes, you can do this with a yoga strap or a dowel, but I always start with a band because the band is stretchy. You're able to compensate a little bit, which is not always a bad thing. This is one where we want to start with our hands farther away. The closer they are together, the harder this exercise is going to be. Shoulders down and back. We're going to hold our palms facing back. We're going to kind of try to press our hands back. Now we're going to bring them up. We're going to go over, and then they call these shoulder dislocates because what we're trying to do is, this is how you would dislocate your shoulder. Take it all the way down, and then we're going to squeeze them together in the front. So take it out, up, and around, and then press them back. So what we want to try to avoid, and you may notice if you've got a sketchy shoulder, is we start to kind of do this. We want to try not to if possible. So the wider the arms, the easier this will be. And for a lot of you, you might have to stop right here, and that's okay. So we just listen to our bodies. Bring it up and over, and you can kind of see I have one arm that doesn't have too much trouble with this, and then I have one arm that kind of does some goofy stuff. This is a good one to do in front of a mirror. So you can go in front of a mirror and you can see which shoulder is kind of giving you a little trouble. So just a few of these. You can always just start with a couple. Nothing fancy. Good. Last one. So the goal is to maybe do about 10 of these. So try to do about 10. Good. Bring it in, shake it out. We're going to keep that band. And now we're going to do band pulls. We're going to do palms facing up, band pulls. We're going to do 10 on the right, 10 on the left, and then 10 both. So on this one, my left arm is going to stay right where it is. My right arm, palm facing up, I'm going to try to pull my thumb to the wall and bring it back in. So let's start with 10. So we're going to take 10. Good. Here's 5, 4, 3, shoulders relaxed, 2, and 1. Good. Switching over to the other side. Right arm is out in front. Here we go. Take it back and in. Big stretch, big muscles. Good. 3 more. 8, 9, and 10. All right, bring it in. Just a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a wiggle. And we're going to do 10 both at the same time. Here we go. 10. Good. And if you can, stretch it. Touch the chest. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, shake it out, wiggle those fingers, grab a quick drink. We have one more exercise, and this is a good one to do body weight only or with a very, very light weight. Very, very lightweight. I am going to start with a 3-pounder, but this is one, if you've got a 16-ounce water bottle and it's half empty, that's perfect. So this is good body weight. This has a little bit of shoulder internal, external rotation. So what you're going to do is you're going to have your hand kind of doing a reverse curl. So you're going to pull it up and you're going to reverse curl it over to the opposite shoulder. Then we're going to draw a halo over our head and open it out to the side. So palm facing back, reverse curl. So bring it up, over to the opposite shoulder, draw your halo, and take it down. So palm facing back, reverse curl, Bring it up to the opposite shoulder. Draw a halo around your head and out to the side. So internal rotation, up, over, and out. We're going to try for 5. So bring it up, over, and around to the side. Good. One more time. Up, over, and out. We're going to switch it over to the other hand. So nice and tall in the center, kind of a reverse curl. Bring it up, over to the opposite shoulder. Draw a halo around our head, and then we're going to open to a nice wide curl. So internal rotation, bring it up, halo, and out. So this one is a little more challenging. This is one body weight or super, super lightweight. I could probably go a little heavier, but I'm not going to because this is a new exercise for me. So a little reverse curl, bring it up, circle it around, open out to the side. Good, one more time. So bring it up, over, and down. All right, so we're gonna switch it over to the other side. Now we're gonna go kind of the other direction. So we're gonna do, again, that little bit of a reverse curl, elbow up. We're gonna bring our knuckles to our ear like we're holding the phone backwards. We're gonna go around the head this time, and then we're going to bring it down. So kind of a reverse curl, bring it up like you're listening to the phone, show me your nails, around the head, bring it down, hammer curl. So bring it up, listen to the phone, circle your head, bring it down, and curl. So bring it up, circle, and down. So we're trying to work on some shoulders here. So lift it up, listen to the phone, circle, and down. We have one more on this side. So bring it up, reverse curl, listen to the phone, circle the head, and bring it down. We're going to switch over to the other side. This is your last exercise for your workout today. So we're going to reverse curl, bring it up, listen to the phone, circle, bring it around and down. So lift it up, circle, and around. And I can tell this arm feels like it's a lot closer when I bring it up. So listen to the phone, show me your nails, circle your head, and bring it down. So lift it up. So it's kind of a reverse curl, a little bit of an upright row. We don't do a lot of upright rows in my classes, and part of that is the cost-benefit analysis. For me and a lot of my students, the cost kind of outweighs the benefit when there's a lot of other exercises that we can do. So that is just my thoughts on that particular exercise. Bring it up, but still good for our shoulders. All right, let's go ahead and take that weight down. Out of the way, we're just gonna wiggle our fingers. We're just gonna take a couple of deep breaths in right here. So big breath in and out. Good, one more time. Big breath in and out. And you are all done. So you did an amazing job today. I hope you enjoyed that workout. I know some of the exercises were probably a little bit challenging for some of you. They were a little bit challenging for me. So the whole goal for working on mobility is to start where you're at, work through your mobility, your range of motion, listening to your body, and eventually your body will start to loosen up. You know, if you've had a surgery and you've got pins and you might physically not be able to do certain movements anymore, but you can still maintain what you have and you can actually improve your mobility, and that's just going to help you keep moving and living looser and just feeling better and hopefully being at least somewhat pain-free as we move throughout our day. Let me know what you thought about this workout down in the comments. You can join my private Facebook group or look for me on Facebook and let me know there, but I've got a private Facebook group. I've got the link for it in the show notes on my YouTube. Otherwise, I hope I see you in class and have a wonderful day. So bye.